Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King Michael. This is Legit Paranormal, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It's Sunday night, 7:07. That's not that bad of a start time. Not for us. It's March 19th, 2023, 0319 2023. Let's see, we got that. That should be, 12, 4. I can't do it. For the math geeks, I got nothing. But joining me as always is Buddy Money. There, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, Mike. How we doing tonight, dude?
I'm doing great. What do you mean? What do you mean? How am I doing? I'm
Hey, I'm wearing, Mike. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing. I came over prepared this week.
Yep.
I'm wearing red. I know that's important for your people. And I
Is.
also happen to have from LaSalle Bakery.
Oh, there he goes.
A Zapla, which I'm going to.
Oh, there it is.
I thought that was more than appropriate.
There it is, guys.
Joey's Day. And it's huge. What I don't have that's Italian, which is kind of paranormal to see me not drinking an IPA or a double IPA for that matter. Also paranormal to see me go to a new brewery in Rhode Island. Not new as in it just opened, but new to me because I haven't been there yet. One of the 36. I think I've been to all 36 now in Rhode Island. This is from the General's Crossing down in Jamestown, Rhode Island. Beautiful, beautiful island. Norwegian gravel. Oh shit, it's a little off there. Let's see, Norwegian gravel.
Yeah.
Can't see that. It's a little bit bright. I apologize. It's a smoky farmhouse ale with juniper berries and oak chips. It's kind of clear. It's kind of delicious. It's kind of straight out of Rhode Island. Very not like our guests this evening.
Kind of delicious, huh? Speaking of kind of delicious, waiting for a long time, it's Joey Paranormal. What's up, Joe?
Hey, so I also wore red because, I got the memo. Buddy, is it Norwegian gravel or gravel?
I think it's gravel, Joe. Hold on. It's
okay.
Yeah. You see that? Yeah, you see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm asking you. I think you said gravel at first. I wasn't sure that's how it's pronounced.
Going through it.
It's Freudian either way, Joe. Just depending on that.
So I think it's like Norwegian. I think I'm saying it right. It tastes.
Well, I believe you're saying Norwegian correctly. That sounds
Norwegian.
right.
Yeah, Norwegian is.
6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other. Here we go.
Crack
It is
my
St.
voodoo ranger.
Joseph's Day. All the Italian Americans can eat Zaplas.
First Italian reference?
You drink the little stubbies, the little Miller High Life stubbies. That's what we've been drinking at our barbecues. Now, buddy, are you ready to do the introductions?
Mike, I am more than welcome. So I mentioned that our guests are not from the beautiful and wonderful state of Rhode Island, but they are from the lovely state of Tennessee. They joined us this evening. The Rhode Island connection, though, is they did investigate the Conjuring house and make a little a film, if you will.
Almost there. Almost had it.
I was watching on Amazon just today, and it was absolutely fucking fantastic. Paranormal investigators, award filmmakers, Mike, like yourself, and documentarians, and like you guys do have some like great equipment. Please welcome to the show, Matt Benton and Joe Vitale. Vitale? Oh my God!
Vitale, come on! It's an Italian last name, guys.
What
are you doing?
Whoa! Wait! 1 second before we start, guys. I'm sorry. Hand of God, buddy. What did I say to you? It's Vitale, and you're like, you're like, stop making everybody Italian. I'm like, no. We have Joe Vitale on St. Joseph's Day. Come on now. I know the name. I know how to pronounce stuff when I see it.
Vitale.
Yeah, it's just you see it. It's that extra kick to it. It doesn't. It's not. It would never be. Never mind. Guys, welcome to the show. Glad you could both be here. You must have heard horrible things about us. I'm thinking people must have been like, they just really like messed up, especially the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle is always the one that's a little bit the weirdest. Did you guys didn't hear stuff like that, did you?
No.
All right, good. Is it? Joe, write that down. We cleared that one. We're good.
No, they're probably like, we didn't hear anything at all, to be honest.
Yeah, we're good. No, that's right now. All right, buddy. How are the loons?
Mike, the loons were active this morning right before I left for work. but they've quieted down a little bit. It's getting a little nippy out there on the lake, and I look forward to seeing them again tomorrow, Mike. Thank you.
Buddy, you need to have like a loon call on command for that whenever he asks. Just on your phone, just
he does.
Quick play.
There should be loons on by now if he was on point. Guys, I'm sorry. So, the film, when you were making it, did you think it would end up being what it turned out as, like, not just as good as it was, but like when you start making film, sometimes you can see how it's going to all play out, but sometimes you have no idea, right? And then it turns out to be something that's like, whoa, kind of like a song. You put pieces together, sometimes it just turns, and there it is. It's great. I watched the Allman Brothers documentary the other night, and I was blown away once again. But what I'm saying is, when you guys are making it, did it start off one way and evolve? Because I guess it's like that, Matt.
So yes. First off, we had some. We learned more about Bathsheba Sherman. There's so we realized we had to go a different route. I did, at least. And then when it came to also the filmmaking aspect, I did not expect something to happen to me in the way things happened to me. So that was not expected, and I didn't think that was going to happen. Actually, we brought Eric because I thought he was going to be the one most affected there, because he's like that, more energetic, a little bit more fearful about the place. He has a little bit of fear when it comes to investigating sometimes, depending on the situation. And so we were thinking maybe he would be affected. And also he's an entertaining guy, a really cool guy, and we'll invite him along and see what happens. And sure enough, it actually happened around me. So it was definitely different. So the thing about documentary filmmaking is that you don't know what you have until you're done filming it. It's not like a movie where it's everything's storyboarded and figured out what the storyline's going to be. You do all that in post. So
no doubt.
Yeah, for me, I expect nothing but expect everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to have any kind of activity, but it was it turned out a little different than I had expected. But I mean, that's just part of the game. You never know what's going to happen. You don't know. You
don't expect activity, but you expect that if activity were to happen, you'd have enough cameras ready for it. I think that's the part that you have to worry. Right? That's the issue. It's just you can't make things happen, but you can be in the right position sometimes to get better shots. Right? Is that the constant conundrum, I guess?
I will say, thank God they had a DVR system in the house.
Yes. Yes, I swear. That captured most of the stuff that they've showed us, and also I put in the film, was things that they captured from the DVR systems. And then what happened to us was also captured on the DVR system. So thank God that was there, because we wouldn't have much.
Yeah, we could have missed it.
I thought we did at first. And
so, for people that all right, I'm speaking for the dumb here. That's with no B but two M's. What do you mean by the DVR? What is this DVR you're speaking of?
It's basically it's a setup of cameras, multiple cameras into security cameras into one drive, and you could also check it it's like a security camera. That's it. It's like an IR security camera. It's just your normal security camera.
Well,
but
I'm just saying,
higher quality.
If you're sitting on the couch and you were watching this right now on one of the YouTube channels, and you're just sitting there, one of those guys, DVR to them is oh, I can rewind this show right now. I'm gonna rewind what's on TV. You know what I mean?
Well, technically, you can rewind on a DVR setup. So
it's like that, but security cameras.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The main unit is a DVR, but security system, whatever you want to call it. But
it's it's probably not what it's called, but it's easily digestible for somebody who may not understand it. So I'm going to play that role. Joe, you got a question you want to ask?
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll probably talk about your trials and tribulations in Rhode Island and the investigation you guys did at the Conjuring house. But what I really want to know, especially because I've never really been able to investigate anywhere in the South, is there any place that you guys have investigated close to where you live that you're very excited about, that you love, or that you kind of promote and would like to talk about, or just had great experiences from?
Well, for me, I would say although you can't investigate it anymore, but Hell's Bar Dam has been amazing. Same thing with Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Both locations have been amazing. Um, I've had a lot of luck, especially at Hales. I actually ended up being on Kindred Spirits for about 18 seconds. They did an episode on Hales, which was really cool, but at the same time, I wasn't exactly happy the way they sort of portrayed me in that particular episode. I have.
Oh, they got to portray you differently?
Oh yeah, they instead of being a paranormal investigator, they
made him a historian.
Yeah, they made me their historian for the location.
Boy, they gave you a degree.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said the same thing. I was like, they gave you a degree, Joe.
Now I'm going to go on my story. They're going to know you're not. I'm not. Check it out.
Right.
So it says it on TV.
Yeah, they did not want. They did not want it to be known that I investigated Hales many times. I've probably investigated Hales more than most, to be honest. And they made it off like I was afraid of the place, when that's clearly not the case. I've investigated that place many times by myself. So Amy made the comment within the episode. I'll never forget the look of fear in Joe's eyes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Wow.
That's why in the next film I'm going to say those exact same lines to Joe. Just kidding.
That ass will get beat.
That's what scares me. There's so many hours of us doing this show that I could go back and splice either one of us saying something completely out of context and mash it up and make us look like we're, we like I like the Red Sox for some reason, which I would never do. Matt, before you touch on that, buddy, let me let you ask your question because I know how you are with your back. Go ahead, go.
Oh, okay. So before I get into my first question, I just want to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine, Jeff Ahern. He ran his second ultra marathon today. He ran almost 31, a little over 31 miles in 6 hours. Why? I still don't know.
He's someone was chasing him, right?
He's done the Boston Marathon. He's done the Marine Corps Marathon. He's an Army officer. He's a fantastic guy. I just want to give a big shout out. Proud of you, dude. That's pretty goddamn incredible. So my question, gentlemen, to you is, while watching the documentary, I noticed that the part that got me a little bit, that made me say a little bit, was the little cube you found with Seven, and how you guys related it to maybe a demonic entity that you had seen on prior investigations. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what if anything you found out from that?
It's a bit coincidental. I'm not going to say it's paranormal or anything that for the cube part. It's just that it was interesting that the medium that warned us about Seven being there, and then also the whole the history that Joe has of the place, Eric has the place. I had only one experience with that back at Revenant Acres, and so that was like the only time I had experience with it. So it was just very weird coincidence that there was just a block there that just says Seven, and then I didn't know at the time, but when it came to, I didn't know at the time, but I still brought it up because of their connection, and the medium also said there was that Seven was going to be there, so that was very weird.
So would it be an entity that would be following you guys, or would it be an actual demonic entity that would happen to be at the Conjuring House?
So the thing is that Matt, he had an encounter with Seven at Revenant Acres. Eric had an encounter with Seven at Revenant Acres. My encounter was elsewhere at another location, and it just from time to time seems to pop up, and it kind of sucks because we're trying to investigate a location that has nothing to do with this thing, and it'll pop up and kind of take over a little bit, and then it just kind of goes away. I'm just like, I ignore it at this point. I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever.
Can I ask a question? Because I was part of that conversation, and then I started thinking about who is Seven. They keep saying the name Seven, right? And I'm stuck on that. You guys got all the way around and talking about this guy, and I started thinking he was a guy. and then I'm back to 7, and then it's not a guy, it's a demon.
Known
Please explain
as-
to me who 7 is. Like,
So there's some belief behind it from some people that it is one of the 7 deadly sins. There's other entities calling itself I am 6, I am 7. And so we think I am 7 is possibly Asmodeus or Osmodeus, which is a demon in the Mather's translation of Abramelin the Mage. It's one of the... What?
Which sin? Which sin would it be?
It would be
Lust.
be lust. And
Lust.
when we say lust, you have to think about this too, though. When people can lust about a lot of things, it doesn't mean specifically sexually. People can lust for power, fame, money, all kinds of stuff.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
So I'm not sure. I mean, I have researched it because it turned my life upside down, but also other people have come to me and have told me that they ran into this thing called 7, and they would tell me, here's what's going on with me right now. And what they're saying lines up with my experience and with a lot of other people's experiences with this. And they don't know one another. So when I'm hearing this and from different people and basically getting the same story, it's like something's going on. It's also believed, too, that 7 may be the same entity or the same phenomena that people get from the Ouija board, Zozo. They both kind of have the same MO. Now, I'm not stating this as a fact or anything like that. Just take, what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm only going by my experiences and what I've researched.
For the record, I want your opinion. I don't, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. I'd rather hear you. But you think it's the same thing?
It seems so.
To you. I'm asking you your opinion.
Yeah, it seems so. It seems like it.
Hate Ouija boards. Always hated them. Said that from day one we started the show. I hate Ouija boards. Something about them creeps me out. I never knew you had to close them. I had to learn that on this show. I'm like, really? You had to close them? Never mind about it. But so wait a minute. So here's where it gets off track. So from the Conjuring house, 7 left with you and comes and visits and bothers other people that you know. Like I'm just really trying to break it down for like to get a better idea of how you.
All right. So we've all encountered this thing before the Conjuring house, and sometimes it just likes to randomly show up. Then again, who knows if it's actually him or not? But I mean, there's been times where I'm investigating. Doesn't even matter who it's with, and then boom, we start getting 7 coming through EVPs. Excuse me, guys. The spirit box, things like that. When it comes to the spirit box, though, it's kind of like, is that a number, like a phone number, to call into a radio station or an ad or whatever?
Yeah.
But like I said, I try to ignore it. I'm not trying to investigate it. I'm trying to focus, on the location and what's going on there, rather than what.
Can you recall the first time that you experienced this entity?
Let Matt answer this.
For me, it started at Post Town Elementary School.
All right,
and then it just kind of progressed from there.
So time out. So you're saying that you met a dark entity in elementary school.
I was investigating in elementary school. Yes.
Oh, all right. That's where you were at.
Yeah, and I didn't know it at the time.
When you believed that you caught up with you.
It wasn't until after I started wondering what's going on here, because I originally, I'm from Michigan. I was living in Michigan at that point in time, and I kept saying, what's up with all this 7 stuff? We did an investigation, a residential investigation, and it's clear as day. There's no denying it. Something says it's Joe. Now, it could have been referring to the man that lived in the house who actually died in the house. So we were like, okay, cool. We may be talking to this Joe dude. But then it just, 7, just a lot. And then I was just like, why is this happening? Now, a female investigator asked, what's your story? And it literally said to her, "Fuck you," and it was done.
So, all right, I could get someone having like a connection like that, a personal connection with that. That's we all have our own frequency. I know that makes sense to some people. It makes sense to me. Now, when you came to Rhode Island, first off, the house. When you first walk into the house to see it, it's creepy, is it not? Like you got a creepy feeling first time you walk in the house. I don't mean outside the house. I mean in the house.
No, for me, no. For Matt and Eric, it was a little different for them. I'm not really sure what's going on with Matt there, but no, for me, I was just excited.
You're in,
Matt,
and
all right?
You're in and out.
You got some paranormal stuff going on over there, Matt? Yeah, for me, I was just more excited. We got out of the car and I looked at the house. I'm like, oh my God. Like, Keith and Carl Johnson were here. Ed and Lorraine Warren were here. Like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm here. We go into the house and I'm just like, wow, like, this is amazing. I was very comfortable in that house. I was very comfortable. No matter where I went, I was fine. As for Eric and Matt, their feelings were a little different. They felt like the energy or something like that. But yeah, I mean, for me, I was just like, I feel great. But I was so excited.
So let me ask this. So, do you think like Keith and Carl Johnson, people like that, helped make it almost easier for other people to come into the Conjuring house now? Like they laid kind of the groundwork to allow people to, or no?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I knew that Keith and Carl were the first to go there to try to help the Perrin family. They did give us some really good information and tell us what they experienced, but I don't know, to be honest.
I think it was honestly new ownership was open to it and wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was definitely the new owners that opened up, but they're paranormal investigators themselves, and that was really cool because I honestly thought nobody would ever be able to investigate that place. Yeah, sure, ghost hunters did back in the day, but yeah, I just thought that
the elderly couple that lived there for years and years were not open to it at all. Well, the cops many times people would trespass.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it became an issue after the movie came out with not just paranormal investigators, but just normal people just going to try to take a look at it, and it did
Drunken college kids.
That's the reason why the other owner sold the place.
Mhm.
Is because that person got tired of it.
Constant, from what I understand, and I can imagine it's easy to find. It's a place where everybody that lived in the northern half of Rhode Island knew of the story and knew where it was.
And have you guys have been to Northern Rhode Island? There's really not much to do. So
No, there's yeah, it's a lot of trees.
Yeah, you mean you don't like driving on straight roads and hanging out in the woods?
Well,
I don't like
it.
our
there
mission
you
was to get to the Conjuring house. Like,
So,
forget
all right.
everything else.
You start off saying we're gonna film this. We're gonna put ourselves in this type of situation. In other words, be here at a certain time this day. As far as the filming, are you there around the clock and you're just filming around the clock? Like, what's the whole?
Yes.
So it's constant round the clock. You guys sleeping. Someone's gonna be filming all the time.
Well, we had a break in the daytime. We go to sleep for a little while. I only slept for like 4 hours, and I kept filming. Got up again, and yeah.
No, it is. It is. 4 hours is exactly enough. I don't know what Matt's doing.
I'm not even touching anything.
I'm not touching anything, Matt.
No.
I don't even know what I was saying. 4 hours. I know what I was saying. 4 hours is exactly enough. If you get any less than 4 hours, I swear to God, I cannot operate. 3 hours and 58 minutes. Swear to God, I'm shit. Joe, you know this. I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead. No, Matt, go ahead. As in speak. No, not Matt. No, second try, Mike. Not Matt. But only
Well, yeah. So we've gone through a lot of filming in the location. Through basically, it was just sleep.
I can't
So
believe this is
we
doing
probably got a total of 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, just about. We don't get that much sleep. We just keep filming and get B-roll. A lot of B-roll is like a goal. Actually, we went back because one of the reasons to get more B-roll because I felt like we still needed more. It was a time crunch. If we had one more day, it probably would have been better. We had 2 days on the first try, and then we went back for one more night and day. And so we also to try and debunk a couple things a couple more times too. And
Isn't B-roll the best? Isn't it like the smartest, like long-term investment almost in filming? Like you just let the camera roll sometimes and let it be, and then just come back to it. Right? Like that's like.
well, actually, I'm most of the time recording it with my hand, so it's not really leaving it alone unless you're doing a time lapse shot. Yeah, you want to leave it.
Yeah, we put our cameras on sliders and drone footage, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You get that. You got to try to tell a story.
Cinematography.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cinematography.
I don't see Buddy, myself, and Joe using anything but a tripod. You guys don't see much handheld stuff, do you?
We do, yeah, a lot of different things. That was a lot of handheld shots were in that film, actually.
So you want to put yourself, Matt is. We're gonna start calling Matt Houdini Benton. Matt, so did you guys try to put yourself in positions that made you uncomfortable? Made you uncomfortable? Not, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, in other words, not to stir it up, but there's like certain feelings you get. Like if it's a bad feeling, sometimes you lean into it because sometimes bad is strong as good. I guess is what I'm saying.
Uncomfortable. But yeah, sometimes I do. I like to. I did Man vs. Paranormal, where I got stuck into 3 different buildings by myself for 3 days.
See,
No.
see, that's why he does all these tricks. That's why this guy can do all these tricks. So he's been doing all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He's the fifth factor of paranormal. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I go to locations alone. The problem is it's kind of hard to put me and also Matt in a situation where we feel uncomfortable and uneasy. We're so desensitized. I've been doing this a long time, and it's like I miss being
paranormally speaking. You mean paranormally speaking?
Yeah,
we couldn't get you uncomfortable. Let's just keep that what we're talking about.
Yeah,
paranormally
even other
speaking.
things. It takes me a while to get uncomfortable for a lot of things. I think I'm becoming numb in a lot of things.
All right, because Joey can't dance.
Right
then.
I
Guys.
held at gunpoint once and still.
Yeah, you know what?
Desensitized.
Funny thing is, I went to Fort Defiance, Virginia for a Bigfoot con, and kid got in the back seat. I never spoke to him in my life. First thing out of his mouth was, had a gun held to my head when I was in the thing. My grandfather came out and grabbed a shotgun and said, "I'm going to blow your balls up." And I'm like, who starts off with this story? Sits behind me. I'm Italian. You're freaking me out now. I'm like, I didn't want you behind me in the beginning. Now you're telling me death stories? Like, if there's going to be a piano wire coming soon, I'm going to be pissed because this is a bad way to go with this guy. But I'm digressing. Let me bring that back. Right. Sorry. So, you guys get there. It seems like everything warms up. Investigations warm up to you warm up to them, meaning like it's a weird way of saying like that the veil kind of gets pulled back a little bit more the more familiar you are with the place. That's how I seem to, like, when I'm writing down all my thousands and thousands of magic marker notes on different guests. Those are the things that always seem to come up the top. Like, those are always like main things that they see no matter where they go. And the thing with the Conjuring house is, like, I've had Carl down at Bar Fangul, which is my bar in my basement. We've had them both on the shows. We've discussed the Conjuring house. What scares me the most about the Conjuring house is, so that was like a chapter. There's now the Conjuring house continuing, and the fact that it seems like a place where things just I don't want to say portal because that's just a cheap my way out. You know what I mean? Like a layman's way of saying it. But goddamn, it's a hotbed, and it just seems like it's spewing out more and more. Not good. Joe, Joey Paranormal. Your thoughts on what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's almost like the more you poke the bear. I think
Yep.
the more you allow that interaction and you allow whatever could be maybe tied to that location or could be just there in general, the more you kind of talk and interact and allow it to come across and allow it to come closer and closer. Like, yeah, you could be potentially opening up someone who goes there to having a very negative experience or potentially leaving with an entity that they may not want to leave with. I've driven by it. I've never been there and investigated. I've heard accounts that it's not necessarily tame. Excuse me, not tame, but it's not as overly paranormal or active, depending, I guess, on when you go, who you go with, the type of tests you do. But I just think the more you poke the bear, I mean, the more you can open up someone who's not expecting it to end up with a really negative experience.
Buddy, what do you think?
Depends on the people.
Yeah.
As an investigator, it's like, I guess as a Rhode Islander, I got to put it on a list somewhere, but it's not. It doesn't really pique my interest because it's like the place that everybody wants to go, and I think there are better places to go. But yeah, I think.
See, that's because though you've heard that. See, what happens is when you see, I'm an unjaded person when it comes to paranormal stuff because
I think it's just like it's like a sponge.
I never heard of it until we started doing the show 2 years ago. So this has been like a whole paranormal experience for me. And what I do know of it is that it's been going on for a long time, and that it seems to change, but there's similarities. So, like it's St. Joseph's Day, so I'll blame it on me being Italian. As an Italian, you remember details that are weird, so that when people keep telling you stories, you hear a detail and something goes off in your head that I heard a story like that before. I can't explain that any other way than that's how my memory works. So when doing something like this, it works well that way. Joe Vitale.
So I will say that whatever's there, and I know Matt will agree, it's an opportunist, and I don't believe it's the house that is haunted.
Land.
It's the land. Now I have seen, when we went back a second time, I seen these weird lights up in the woods or forest, and I have no idea what the hell they were. They were up too high, but they were somewhere back in the woods, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I never knew what it was. We didn't get it on film, but then fast forward, I don't know, almost like a year later or something like that, or months later, whatever it was, another group went out there, they filmed something, and they caught what I seen. So I can actually back up what they're saying, and they can back up what I'm saying. So I honestly believe that it's all tied to the land, because even like their neighbor, they had experiences as well. But I think, again, I think it really does depend on the person and how bad it infects.
So when it infects, so if you had lust following you around 7, let's say, this almost sounds like greed would live here. Like that's what it sounds like. Like that's what what are you guys saying that is like that entity that's at this house, Matt?
Well, I don't know if it's the 7 that was the one doing everything. I think it's the house, or not the house, the land, whatever's in that land.
But what is the land causing people? What is it doing to people that they? There's been a lot of dealings, a lot of things that have gone down. It's been just a weird.
Well, it's a land of a lot of Native Americans have taken place when it came to its history. There's the King Philip's War that happened there, and a lot of deaths happened during the King Philip's War. It was multiple tribes against each other, the Narragansett and Wampanoag tribes, and so I believe it could maybe be elemental or something Native American related, maybe. So that is a possibility.
Not only that, but you had the Civil War, and they were running underground railroads through there too, into Canada, trying to get slaves up north, away from the South. So, I mean, there's a lot of history in that area.
buddy.
There is a
Speaking
ton
of-
of in that area. It does date back even like colonialization in that area was like the early 1700s. There's a spew of tons of old historical cemeteries up that way that will tell you that, including Bathsheba's own grave, which was absolutely destroyed several times. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
we've
guys-
seen it.
It's just
Yes.
and the work that is honestly, excuse me, the half-ass work that they put into it. I see people use cement on it. I mean, just like really awful methods of repairing gravestones. But do you guys see that a lot with in your travels throughout the country, like historically or like huge, like allegedly haunted spots? Do they get vandalized? There's a lot of vandalism surrounding it, or
Well, locations, yeah, but I think the vandalism is happening because of the movie. They're making Bathsheba Sherman out to be some witch and stuff like that, which it historically doesn't make any sense and isn't accurate. We explain that in the film, and we go in depth with that, and hopefully people see that because they're destroying some person's grave, which I think is pretty disrespectful.
And that's
for no reason.
That's something that I have found going to different locations. Go to a location and they tell me the story about this person and they were this and they were that. And then when I actually go and look for the information, I find that that is not true at all. Quickly, the Chastain House in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Yeah, they claim that there was a real crazy doctor doing horrible things to people in the house, and there was a woman who was a witch and she got hung, and then things were still happening, and they said, oh, the spirit of the witch possessed her sister. Let's go hang her sister. So her sister was supposedly hung. Long story short, none of it was true. They said that this house was used as an orphanage, and people are like, oh, I'm getting all kinds of EVPs, and I'm hearing children playing and stuff. It was never used as an orphanage. So I have to wonder what's going on with a lot of people who investigate the place, who sit there and will say, oh, it was used as an orphanage, and this is what we captured. When in fact, I don't know what they're getting, but it was never an orphanage. There was never a witch there. None of the stuff happened. Yes, the people died, but I did the proper research, and the caretaker of the land showed me a picture of 3 witches and told me, hey, this one here, I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, this is a picture of her and her friends, and they had the stereotype witch outfit on, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. And
What is the stereotypic, typical witch outfit in your mind, Joe?
The black dress, the pointy hat, the broom, and I thought in that area,
Yeah, the boots, Joe, the boots.
Yeah, they had it all, right? And they were holding broomsticks, and they were made out of metal, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right for that time period. I took a picture of that picture, did a reverse search on Google, and I found it was an ad for a high-end Halloween costume place out in California.
Yeah, there's also an issue with other haunted locations making up these stories on locations just to add some, I guess, for people to advertisement for people to go investigate it. And they're just making up stories along.
And it doesn't help. It doesn't help too when certain TV shows, they fuel that fire. Again, with Kindred Spirits, me being on there. Hey, Amy and Adam, they were great. They were awesome. The whole experience was cool, but there was never a curse put on the land of Hellsbar Dam. But that's kind of what they ran with.
Can I ask this one again? Where are you guys both living now? What state?
I'm in Tennessee. Bristol,
You're in Tennessee. I get that. How long I'm sorry, Matt. With you?
I'm in California at the moment.
Sorry. So both laid back states.
Oh, that sucks.
You're both in laid back states. That's what it's coming down to. It's
You currently serving, Matt?
Yes. I don't have an option.
Thank you for your service.
yeah.
I don't want to be here. Don't worry. I want to go back.
everything in the Northeast is sketchy. Like, but we know this. Like, that's what is it's weird. Like Buddy, Joey, and myself, we know that if we do a radio show with somebody, we could end up saying anything they make us say, and that's like how negative people on the Northeast are. It's just how we are. The Providence to Boston to New York, that whole, Baltimore, shady people in shady cities. I'm just
95 corridor.
It's really just what it is. And it's like they're jaded to the point of being jaded. So it's like when we hear that stuff, it's like, I believe you. Like, do I believe that there's a lot of bullshit out there? Oh my God. I have no idea. Like, the stories I have on bullshit's ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. And most of the bullshit you don't even have to call bullshit, because if you just say it back out loud to yourself, your brain immediately goes bullshit. It just needs to be repeated. That's how bad some stuff is. I swear to God, like someone says something, I'll be like, what? Yeah. And I'll repeat it back in my head and be like, bullshit. And then I made my mind up and I just move forward. Now, buddy, you struggle with this because you believe in certain things and you don't believe in other things.
Right.
And then when Roland was on, you try to get Roland on your side on a certain topic. Tried. but
And
you
yeah, he
failed.
was told, son of a bitch. I did not see that going in that direction, Mike.
That was a win for me. Now, buddy, you have people that call you, contact you, that they're just not quite right.
Right.
We know that there's
times a day, Mike. Yeah.
the paranormal. Unfortunately, here's the thing. So, right, 10% is all this great stuff that's really going on and people are getting done, and then 90% of it is like, dude,
Bullshit.
but not just bullshit. I mean, like
Oh, sorry.
bullshit with glitter on fire,
Fairy
dancing
tale
around
bullshit.
for a
That's what I
hoop,
call it.
carrying a poodle with ripped torn. Like, I'm talking old school bullshit. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to tell you the story about it's ridiculous what some people will say, and that one person in the room makes everybody else seem a little more ridiculous. I'm being dead honest. It's like that's to me how it is. I mean,
And those are the people who end up getting booked to do events, and it's getting bad like that. Like I'm seeing people put on these big paracons and stuff, and inviting the guys who are faking on YouTube. And it's funny because I'll sit there and I'll watch people like on Facebook talk, these television shows are fake and on and on and on and on. But yet I'll see them supporting like a fake YouTuber. It's like, you realize that this person is fake, right? He's presenting it as factual. But if you read the description in there somewhere, it says entertainment. Now, they all don't put entertainment in their description box. And even if they do, nobody sees it anyways. Who the hell reads the description box on YouTube videos anyways? Or even scrolls down far enough to even see something like that. So, yeah, I call it fairy tale bullshit. I see a lot
because
of
what's
it.
entertainment? Give me that definition nowadays. What do you consider entertainment? Because what's opinion? What's opinion? What's fact? Where do the two blend in? I mean,
Now, somewhere in there, you have to factor in feelings.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's when I see. But there you go. What's the one I did forget? The one I always forget.
I have
Feeling. Nothing more than go ahead, Matt. Feeling.
I have a shirt actually made that says "Science doesn't care about your feelings."
Yeah,
that's in my merch store right now.
So here's the other side of that. So now like I'm a big fan of that slogan, but in my head, the first person that I think of with that slogan is the guy that aggravates the shiznizzle out of me.
Great description.
The Jewish kid. No, the Jewish kid. Ben
Shapiro. Ben Shapiro.
Yes. I like that kid, but
Sonic.
I like him, but he aggravates me. You ever listen to somebody, like you listen to him and he just like, it's like, he reminds me of Duke University. How about that, right? You're watching him and you're like, I want to root for him, but there's part of me just wants to punch a Duke player when they're not looking. I swear to God, I don't know why. Right? It has to do with the fact that they're Duke.
The weight.
Right? They're Duke. We're Duke. You're like, oh, yeah, sorry, Duke. Turn around, man. I swear to God, Brown University. Bang! You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I digress. Buddy, you're going to stand up or not, so ask a question.
Okay. God, I don't know.
You got to shoot one.
The Zapely kind of zapped
If
Buddy's
you're gonna
brain.
stand up, you're on.
They would kind of like put me in a little sugar coma.
I can see.
Um,
I can see. I'll give you 2 more seconds.
Yeah, I don't. Can I divert to Joe?
Joey, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm actually like super curious to learn a little bit more about the seven entity that you guys have experienced. And I see obviously you kind of have dubbed entity 7 paranormal. It seems like this is something that's been kind of either bothering you or following you or giving you issues. I would assume for a while, especially if that's what you've kind of dubbed what you're doing. Can you explain a little bit more about the experiences with that? Because I know you said that you experienced it in elementary school, I'm assuming a while ago. But just elaborate a little more on that if you could.
No, it was a haunted elementary school.
It was a haunted
his
elementary.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said that a little carelessly. My bad.
I said it. Listen,
No,
before you do this, this does not bring us any closer to this thing by you telling us more about it, right? Like, if we cut you off here, is it just we're better off? The less we ask, the better off we are. Because Joey Paranormal's poking the bear again here.
Mike, have you ever heard of like cloud computing? You know how we put all of our data into the cloud? What's happening now is we're putting our attachments into the cloud. So through the cloud, you will get a residual attachment from this entity 7, and you may have some nightmares tonight. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah, again, it was something that I came in contact with when I was investigating Poasttown Elementary School out in Ohio. Great place. The owner and his wife, awesome people. And I didn't expect for that to happen. But yeah, my experiences with it, I ended up getting really sick from it. It drove me crazy. It turned my entire world upside down. It's
Did you act out? Did you act out? Did you like when you kind of start to go nuts? You act out. It's like I'm gonna die anyway, so I'm gonna buy a bunch of raffle tickets, so scratch tickets. So I'm gonna do this or that. Did it drive you to you spiraled? Or what do you mean
I did have very dark thoughts. I'm trying to be careful because some places,
We're on YouTube.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. Yeah,
allegedly, you gotta yell that out every now and then. Allegedly.
How about self-deletion thoughts?
There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
yep,
there
yep,
we
yep,
go.
Yep,
We can use that. Self-deletion thoughts.
Allegedly.
Let's see. I was having these horrible dreams that it wasn't me, but it was like my body. I was there, and this thing like attacking, which is now my ex-wife, but just like attacking my ex-wife, and there was nothing I could do about it. I had that dream for like 2 weeks straight, and I woke up one night. I'm like, I am missing something. Something is not right here. And I started going back, looking into things, and I'm like, oh shit, what is going on here?
Wait, stop, please. What I noticed was you called this thing where this demon was eating your wife, right?
Beating.
Right? You called it. I noticed you called it a dream, not a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure we're using the same dialogue here.
Yeah.
It was a dream. Dream.
It was a dream. Not a pleasant dream, but not necessarily a nightmare.
It was not a nightmare. All right. Now we're on the same page. Joey, write that part down so you remember.
Yeah. And when I say it wasn't like, yes, this is happening, you so deserve. No, I couldn't do anything about it. So it wasn't necessarily. It was a very vivid dream, but yeah, it totally turned my life upside down, and a lot of stuff. I don't openly talk about it, and a lot of the stuff I do just keep to myself. But it train wrecked me, and it's just like.
Why did it jump to people you knew?
I'm not sure. I know.
What did you do, Joe? What did you do?
I know that there are other people who have encountered it, and they just get it at different places for whatever reason. I don't know what it is that this thing, is taking aim at. I don't know what it is about me that it would take aim at or anyone else. But I mean, it is known as excuse me, it is known as the relationship destroyer. And I don't know. I've had a guy sometime back message me saying, "Hey, you know, I talked to so and so, and they told me to come to you because you know something about the Seven character." Now I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here, and they'll tell me the stories. I'm like, okay, holy shit! But then I have to ask questions. You know, well, what's
you
been
on
going
drugs?
on? Yeah, you know what's going on here, you know, besides that, because it's so easy to blame something else for, you know, failures, you know, your own failures or failures within a marriage. Now, yeah, there are things that, and I believe this, but I do believe that there are things out there that, yeah, can completely destroy relationships, marriages, and stuff. When you look at all the cases that Ed and Lorraine Warren have done, and other demonologists have done, and things like that, every single one of those people has something in common. They're all freaking divorced. Now, again, you know, there is responsibility on our parts too. So, I mean, even if a marriage is a little shaky or got a little crack in it, that is something that definitely needs to be worked on. But having a demonic entity or whatever you're comfortable calling it, yeah, that can blast that thing wide open and can cause some serious damage. I mean, at the end of the day, when people say, well, you know, I know all this stuff about demons and da 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 da, and I'm just like, that's great. So do I. But basically, it's all divide and conquer. When you step back and you look at it, when you get to the foundation of it, it is divide and conquer.
So, Matt, do you have any experience at all with this whatsoever?
Yes. This is an experience I usually don't like talking about.
That's all right. It was one-time encounter, or is it something that you had to get
One
rid
time.
of? All right, so it was a
One-time encounter after the Revan Acres, like literally a day or two after.
And you know it's the same person. I mean, just because you just know it's the same person.
I don't know if it was the same entity or whatever, but whatever was in that house is what I believe it was. Because it was just too coincidental. It was just too coincidental. It was a known demonic location. 2 possessions have taken place there, and then this happens to me literally the day after I investigated.
And then a friend of mine, she went to the location where Matt went, and it called itself, you know, Seven to her, and she ended up actually getting bit by this thing right on her booty. And I'm like, holy shit, like you can actually see like the teeth marks. And I think it may have been somebody else, or it may have been her as well, but they had like these really bad bruisings in their thigh, and they had scratches.
You know, so, F that though, man. If I get bit in the ass, I'm staying there till I solve that with that ghost or whatever it was, because that's a Bush League move. Joey Paranormal, bit in the ass? Really? That's, you know what? No. You gotta lay a line somewhere, Joe, in your investigating. Wouldn't that piss you off, or would you get scared? Paranormal.
Man, I don't know. If I felt something like that and I end up having the marks in that location or anywhere, I mean, being honest, I probably wouldn't want to stand there and fight. I'd probably be like, all right, well, there's some kind of unknown, unseen force that literally just injured me. I'm a little worried about it.
I'll be like, can you bite me again?
Yeah,
once more. No, I just want answers. I'm not.
I just want video.
I want to be like, did I get bit? Like, did I really just get bit? And then I want to see if I get bit again. I agree with you. Yeah, it'd probably take 2 bites to me. That's why things never work out.
I'll write it down. March 19th, 2023. Mike admitted it's 2 bites for Mike. This limit, Joe, 2 bites.
By the way, I don't know what you're writing down. I really don't, but that's kind of terrifying that you're going to have that information.
You said it, not me.
You go right ahead. Next time, just ask me, Joe. DM me. So, guys, how we get back on track? So, all right. As far as other people, just because I need to touch this. I know this is what people are thinking. As far as other people that you know, they just happen to have experiences where they come home with something or something happens to them that inevitably it ends to someone just, if it gets inside a marriage, you can sway it one way. See, my problem is I just call that marriage. I guess I've been married so long, you just call it like marriage. Just goes. You just hang on. The two of you are supposed to just hang on to the raft. It's like those really quick slides, like that Wolf's Lodge up in New Hampshire. You just like zoom. You're basically just gonna hold on. Joe, Paranormal, you just got married. I'm giving you some advice. This you should be writing down. Basically, just gonna hold on to the raft with her and make it all the way down. That's all you gotta do. All right.
She finds the notepad.
And at the top, it's highlighted and starred. Mike likes to be bitten, but only twice.
Yeah, and then draw the float like an 8, right? And then like throw out one of the zeros, she's on the other zeros. But make sure you guys are holding on to each other so you don't fall off the thing. That's my gift to you guys for your wedding. There you go. Paint it up. I already painted Buddy's head. Don't ask me what I'll do next. All right, so Buddy, what do you got for questions?
Oh God! So I've heard you guys both talk about either demonic possession, not possessions, but maybe an attachment of some sort. How did you end that? How did you move forward from that?
It was it's hard to explain. Like at the time, I was religious. I'm not really religious anymore, but so it was more prayer. At the time, I'm not really religious. I believe in the power of belief. So I'll be testing these things out in another future documentary if my opinions are accurate.
Matt, let me ask you this: How old are you?
I'm 28.
There it is. You're full of vigor and youth. I can hear it in your voice, right?
Right.
So here's the thing that I've learned. So I keep hearing stories like all the time about different paranormal things, right? So I grew up Catholic because you had to be raised Catholic in my neighborhood. It was Christ Almighty. It's up the street is a church. We all live around churches. That's what Italians do.
That's what Italians do. Yep.
I kind of stopped going to church, whatnot. You know, the other. I went to the whole thing where I was just like, I didn't really know what I believed in, whatnot. The other. And I really started to think, like, you know, the Bible is just, the stories are ridiculous. Like, and then I've evolved to the whole, well, you know, it's just a book that's made of good stories that are trying to help people go the right way in certain parts. And then I evolved to the point where the myths of the paranormal world are so deeply rooted in different biblical things that's where I started to get religious again. Lately, as of the last year. And what I mean by religious, and I'm not afraid to use that term because I don't mean a religion. I don't use spirituality. It doesn't feel like it fits what I'm trying to say. There's like a religious feeling of like that there's definitely something that we're all that people pass on, that there is something where the energy goes, the soul goes. Like that whole belief in the fact that your soul, that energy that's you, that you know you feel that ball has to move, right? That's made me more religious. In other words, I have a better feeling now that people that I've had past, I'm going to see again in some way. Maybe not see them, but I will see them. Buddy, have you felt that way from like all the different people over and over and over again? I'm not trying to say like you're wrong, Matt, and saying that, you know,
they had maybe a loss of faith. I don't know. Maybe just like I need to be shown. I don't know. But since involving myself in the paranormal, yes, there is that affirmation that there is definitely something after.
Like
I'm not talking about an afterlife, though. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, you know, the Bible.
Organized.
Okay.
If you use the word organized religion, now we all know what you mean. Now we're talking money, we're talking kids, we're talking all that bad stuff. But that's different than being religious. That's my whole issue with things. Like, I get it, man. I'm not again, organized religion is you screwed up too many times to try to buy us back. So and I wish it didn't do that because it would be a great thing. Like one of the best things about going to church was it kept all the people in the neighborhood up to date. What was going on? Everybody knew each other better. It was more social.
Cared about one another. They helped each other.
Because you saw the person. You had to see the person at church. Yeah. That was something people dreaded, but they had to do. Oh, Christ, I got to see Joey Paranormal on Sunday at church. Damn it. And I knew I had to see him. Same thing with Buddy. Oh, God damn it. I gotta see Buddy at church.
But you'd end up at their house having a whole bunch of freaking food
Yeah, see.
and having a
Matt,
good time.
Man, I don't know if you know that. Like, we would go get cake after church sometimes. Weird thing with Italian neighborhoods, too. Like, 6 o'clock rolls around, someone grabs an Entenmann. They travel to one neighbor's house, and then all the neighborhood comes over and they eat. I'm not even kidding. That's what it was like growing up. It was just like Goodfellas, but without the mobsters. Allegedly.
Yeah, as far as you know.
Allegedly. No, yeah. Rhode Island was a hotbed. We had Petriarca. Rhode Island was like one of the favorite spots for like the mobsters to come visit. Perfect for them. Right between Boston. You know? So guys, what do you got coming up moving forward to promote that we can add to the end here?
Well,
Matt,
The Hair So Haunting is currently available on Amazon Prime, Vudu, YouTube Movies, iTunes. It's pretty much everywhere. Like 90% of all the streaming services, or 85% of all the streaming services. So you just Google it, you'll find it.
It's gonna be a great feeling, right? It's gonna be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's actually lately it's been exploding on Vudu. And so a lot more people are seeing it right now, and also a little bit on Amazon Prime too. But
Vudu is the Bravo of old school cable. I don't know if anybody's going to understand that in the room, but it is if you think about it. It's like the Vudu is the app that would be the channel Bravo back in the days of Cinemax, HBO, Showtime. No one remembers these? Really?
I know HBO and Showtime, and
I remember all.
Bravo's been a while though. I don't remember.
Hey, Joe Vitale, you remember Cinemax at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, you're talking about Skinamax.
Yeah, it is. See?
Turn the volume way down.
Yeah. You record that stuff. You'd stay up to hit the VCR for those things. It was what's her name? It was like whatever goes to Brazil or whatever goes like shopping. Had the same woman's name, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing though, guys. Sometimes we would go stay with my stepmom's grandmother, and she had illegal cable. So when they went to bed,
you mean the black box?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And well, she didn't realize it, but so at around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, Spice, Playboy.
No, wait a minute, guys. I don't want to look. Before this goes completely off the rails, right? When Spice all of a sudden just started popping up on the TV, because I always had every black box that came out for every goddamn cable company. My dad was one of those guys that, like, when the HBO truck was driving by, the van was driving by the neighborhood, he'd be like, "Shut the TV off." They would catch us. That's how my family rolled. I ain't afraid to say that. But when it went to that though, that's where the world started to change, man. Like you know what? Like, here's the thing that blows my mind: how many different girls are doing this? There's always a different girl on every single different video and movie and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, how many? Like, what's the population? It always seems like, I can't believe there's more and more and more. So that started the whole influx of just, because that came on at night, and that, dude, Cinemax was just barely PG-13 nowadays, right? That shit was like, went right to X. Through that, went right to X. God damn it, Joey. You know those it's kind of like those websites you go to.
Okay.
The hub, what did you say? Hub something? Hub.
There's like some tubes and some hubs and some other things.
Hub tubes. All right. Joey Paranormal, would you like to say wrap up?
I just want to say thank you guys for coming on and having a conversation with us. I've said this a million times to other guests, but it's always really cool to talk to people who are not in Rhode Island. And especially Matt coming to us from the lovely Camp Pendleton. I'm sure you're having a great time, so I appreciate you, taking some time out of your day to come on and talk to us. Thank you.
Having a great time hiking these mountains.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah, I'd like to also thank you guys for both coming on. The documentary was really well done. It's good for see another paranormal group going out there doing that thing and making something good of it that's not garbage that you catch on TV. It's like it's the good, the bad, and the ugly of the paranormal. So it was really cool. it's a local spot, so it's really interesting to see that as well. So I appreciate you and commend you on your videography. Next week, live on not that one, live on Legit Paranormal. We have coming to us from across the pond. He's the owner. He's the director of the UK Ghost Hunters Ltd. and he's the owner of the Haunted Museum in Nottingham, England. Steve Weston will be joining us from Nottingham, England. Not the sheriff, but the actual the guy who owns the museum.
But believe it or not, Buddy was reading that off of the screen from his computer.
A lot of haunted,
No way.
a lot of dolls.
This
creepy
guy's
shit
really
that
going to
I
join us.
don't go anywhere
Wait,
near.
wait.
He'll be joining us live next week from England.
He's going to be from England.
England.
He's going to set his clock and do all the things he's got to do to be on a show with us from England.
He's a ghost hunter, so he'll probably be up anyway, Mike.
We've been through this before, Buddy. You're gonna wake him up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You'd be like, "Hey,
Hey, we're live.
promised
Dude.
to come on our
Get
show."
on. Yeah.
That was the guy from Ireland.
Yeah, Barry.
When
Yeah.
you go overseas, you good luck. It's like, all right, yeah, because I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I wake up miserable, and if I look up at the screen, and like again, we had this one woman call us yahoos. She goes, I thought I was about to do a show with a bunch of yahoos. I was thinking about backing out. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Like, I mean, other than, Joey, his handsome face, well, Buddy, you're adorable. I don't know who's going to say that. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, we come off like that. So, Buddy, you're good. You guys are good. Let me wrap it up then. So, for Matt Benton, for Joe Vitale, for Joey Paranormal, for Buddy Money, there it is, me, Mike Leopard King, Mike L. This was Legit Paranormal, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. We will see you again next Sunday. Tomorrow night, we have a repeat of a special Buddy Money There episode. Tune in at